Hello again, everyone. I'm Gary Gotzo. Welcome to Race First coverage of round C7 of the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday IndyCar Series. Excuse me, I got to get it named right because I keep changing the name on it. It's the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday IndyCar Open Series Strength of Field race for Season 1 of 2024, coming to you from the Dutch seaside of Zandvoort. As always, joining me for expert analysis in the booth for today's race, he's my IndyCar teammate and a regular participant in the Indy Fix Series, also to be soon known as the IndyCar Oval Series. We'll get it right eventually. Coming to us live from Mexico City is my good friend Antonio Estrada. Antonio, we are continuing our European swing for the series one more time in Zandvoort before moving back to the States. This track is kind of newly reconfigured with some interesting corners and has quickly become a driver's favorite. Why is that?
It sure has become that, Gary. Hello there. And yeah, you know, it's a really, really cool track and quite different from what you would typically find, you know, from F1 standards where everything's kind of flat. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of runoff areas. Instead, for this particular track, you have elevation changes, you have banking, you have actually three banked turns, which are very, very tough and very interesting to take. And it just kind of flows. It's a really fun track to drive. I was driving around here yesterday and earlier today, and it's just fun. It really flows and connects from one corner to the next one. So it is also very challenging. There are a couple of corners that if you take them a little bit wrong, you're going to be in for a rough time, particularly turn 10 there, which has a little bit of off camber. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be quite challenging for these drivers. There are few opportunities to pass, so it's also about, you know, timing it right, making sure that you're there and, you know, pouncing whenever there is an opportunity. But yeah, I mean, Zandvoort is a really scenic track as well. It's really, really beautiful, and it's cool that we are here. I mean, this is one of the reasons or one of the, you know, results of us losing the license in the first place. So we had to dig for different kind of tracks and to show up in, and you know, this is actually a really, really cool one.
Well, we are 4 minutes and 45 seconds away from a start here provisionally. Brian Carey on the pole with a 1:17.081. Right behind him is Whalen with a 1:19.1. There's Soto there for a 1:18.8. Guerrero checking in now at a 1:21.8. IndyCars have not raced here ever for real. I thought they did. I was trying to explain that to Antonio before the race. I was doing some research. Like, I swear IndyCar's racer. No. That's Zolder. Get your tracks with Z's right. So that was Zolder back in the old Champ Car Series. And Alfonso getting a little loose there through the corners. And as a qual run, he might call it quits. Burrell checking in now, a provisionally pole, 1:15.7. 2 seconds faster, roughly 2 seconds faster than Carey. Sears checking in also as well, 1:18.1. A small but paltry field here today. Once again, we are competing with the Daytona 24. Last weekend was the iRacing Daytona 24. This weekend is the real 24. And the green flag for the 24 is going to happen here within the next couple of minutes. I think some people wanted to watch that instead. That is fine. We will be here all season, though, for the Saturday Strength of Field 1 o'clock race. So we expect bigger attendance in the future, but today, you know, big race going on. Don't blame people.
Yeah, and you know, also historically, Zandvoort is not like one of those tracks with the best participation as well. And I know that not everyone kind of has it, and again, it's something that we were kind of scraping at the bottom of the barrel. It's not something that you would typically find for, you know, an IndyCar driver that they would have the track. So a bunch of different factors, but we do have some really recognizable drivers. There's Kevin Burrell, there's Brian Carey, Olivia Hayward, Charlie Sears. So I think we're still going to have a really good show, even with a, you know, tinier field. But yeah, there are some really, really good drivers here.
I believe while we're waiting here, we got 2 minutes and 32 seconds left. I believe we do have a schedule for the next Indy Open Series that has been posted. I think it's going to be submitted to the to iRacing. It's been posted on the forums. So we're looking at next season going to Sebring. Then the High Banked Oval, rest in peace, Auto Club.
Oh, no.
And then Mugello, which is a track that I don't even have yet. We'll be racing there week 3. Then on to the Cup configuration at Sonoma week 4. Back to Texas Motor Speedway week 5. That is Texas Motor Speedway will be there next week as well. Long Beach, traditional circuit there week 6. Week 7, Barber. Week 8, Richmond Raceway. Week 9 will be the IMS Grand Prix course. Week 10, the Oval for Twin Ring Motegi. And then week 11 will be the Indy 500 Oval. And this is getting into when Indy 500 fixed and opened Indy 500 time. And they're only going to be doing 80 laps for Indy Open that week. But I believe we will be covering the iRacing IndyCar Tour instead during that particular week, which will be a 500K event. And then they'll wrap up their season at Belle Isle, just like the real IndyCar season with Belle Isle next on the schedule after Indy 500. That's kind of mirroring it here instead as well. So that is your 12-week open schedule for next season. You can find that on the iRacing IR18 forum. So we're about 52 seconds away. I think everybody that's wanted to go has gone. I think we might just have a couple people. Well, we got Will Weiser out there. We'll take a look and see what Will is up to.
Yeah, Will's trying. He had a couple of issues in some of the qualifying laps that he was putting down. He locked up a little bit there entering turn 12. But I think he's going to be able to set a time here. And since you were talking about the schedule that is coming up, man, how cool it is that we're finally back on real IndyCar tracks, here in Barber, Long Beach, IMS Grand Prix, etc. Things where, this car, this car is really, really good in the service, but we know how it works in those tracks and how it shines there. So,
Weiser up to P2, the 116.5. And, that's it, folks. We're getting ready to grid up. That is it. Just a 10-car field. Nothing fancy here. 31 laps. Probably looking at least one pit stop. And
it's going to be one pit stop.
Yep, it definitely got to have the compound tire change, or the compound of your tire changed. So we'll see who's starting here on on the primaries. On the primaries and on the alternates. So we'll get to see where people are lining up here.
Meantime, I think we can call out our starting grid.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so starting on the pole with a blistering fast lap time, it's Kevin Burrell with a 1:15.7. He is joined by Will Weiser, who put 1:16.5 just in the final seconds of the qualifying session. He's going to be starting P2. Then in the second row, it's going to be Brian Carey with a 1:17 flat. And next to him is going to be Olivia Hayward with a 1:17.8. Row 3, we can find Charlie Sears and Alfonso Soto. Or Afonso, actually. I just added an L for reasons. Row 4, we can find Kevin Whalen. And he's joined by James Shaw. And in row 5, our last row of today's grid, is going to be Marcelo Ferraro from Argentina and Carl Harden, who didn't set a time. So that is our field of 10 cars for today.
And if we butcher your name, and we are bad at that, feel free to correct us kindly over on the Race First Discord server. The link and the invite is in the stream description. And while we're waiting, I believe we're looking at a possibly a long, full course pace lap here.
Yeah, it seems that way. We're going to have to go around the entirety of the track.
I'll take a look and give everyone a preview of what to expect. But, hey, it's great to be back and help us keep this positive momentum. If you enjoy Race First coverage of the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday IndyCar Open Series Top Split and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future Race First iRacing broadcasts. So we are now underway for a pacing lap before we go green. And then we're looking at 31 laps here at Zandvoort.
Yeah, so the field right now is coming off of turn 2, and you're going to see now they're entering turn 3. That's one of our first banked corners. You typically would think that going to the inside would be best, but no. The best line around there is going all the way to the top, even touching a little bit of that green part of there. And then this is a really, really fast part of the track where you don't even need to lift at any point. You can just go flat out. So that's going to make it a little bit tough to make any moves. Here, you're probably going to want to spam your push-to-pass button and try to make the best for it whenever you're coming up to turn 7, which is going to be your braking, your next braking spot.
Well, we see going through the field, we do see Kevin Burrell on the alternate tires. Right next to him would be Weiser. He is on the primary. Right behind them, I believe that's Olivia Haywood, also on the primary. Brian Carey on the primary. Sears is on the alternate. So we got a little bit of a potpourri of strategies going on at the front. Maybe make this a little bit more interesting. We shall see. The strength of field, not too bad, 2.6K. We've seen worse, but with only 10 cars, that's pretty good. So we're working our way through the back portion of the race course. Right there, if you look it up on Google Maps, right there on the Dutch seaside. Kind of a vacation and amusement spot altogether.
So this one they're going through right now, that's turn 10. That one has a little bit of off camber, and if you didn't set up your car correctly, it can lead easily to spinning out. I know I did it quite a bit while I was And just going back to what you were talking about with the tire selection, just for anyone that is watching and that doesn't know what we're talking about, well, there are 2 different types of compounds that these cars have to run. There is a primary tire, which is a black wall tire, and there is an alternate one, the red one that you can see on Kevin Burrell, for example. The alternate tire is a little bit faster through a short period of time, but it will degrade sooner. And then the primary tire is much more stiffer and more strong and stronger, and will last for much longer. But so yeah, they're going to try different things, and they have to use them both. As we are getting there to turn 14, the RE Leyendijk boxed. And yeah, we're going to be getting ready to go really, really soon. This is the second or actually third of the bank corners, and this one is the longest one of them.
Kind of reminds me of the old Riverside Raceway. That last corner before the main straight was kind of a banked corner as well. Kind of bringing some vintage courses of old. Pace car is off the track. Field is under the control of Kevin Burrell. We are green and underway here. Netherlands.
Brian Carey, they're looking for P2, running side by side with Will Weiser there.
Yeah,
side by side.
Yeah, this is what Kevin Burrell wants to see as he tries to pull away from this group into the hype. Whoa, Kevin, Brian, experimenting with the grip level of the what might be AstroTurf up there.
Yeah, and especially on the first couple of corners, it's gonna be whole tires. Your braking markers are not gonna be the same. You're probably gonna slide. As we saw the same happen to Olivia Haywood a little bit behind. There she goes again, blocking up the tires.
Just watch the battle for position. Kevin Whalen gets around James Shaw there in that U.S. Army car and is moved up a position. Now trying to set sail for Charlie Sears. Charlie all over the rear wing there of Olivia. I like Sears how has incorporated the Sears corporateness with his last name.
That's just good marketing, man.
Yeah, there it is right there.
He gets a really good run there on turn 14. He's going to go
push to pass. Yeah, he's going to complete that pass.
Yeah, Will Weiser was also in the bottom, trying to get a little bit of distance from between himself and Brian Carey there.
Cars bouncing as they change on the different bankings and cambers of these corners. And we're watching Sears on the very high line there of one of these signature banked corners there, turn 3. Well, we still have a good battle between Weiser and Carey. Weiser was able to hold on to the position. Carey was not able to get it there at the beginning. That is one of your actually closest battles on the racetrack, along with Sears and Haywood.
It's funny. We have actually battles all over the track. Weiser and Carey, Sears and Hayward, Whalen and Shaw, and also Ferraro and Harden, who are really, really close right now.
Yeah, Ferraro and Harden. Ferraro and a looks like a custom team livery, and then we have Harden and one of the Team Penske liveries that they mini liveries they run through the course of a season. Dex.
Kind of looks like New Gardens. Or was it McLaughlin's? Anyway,
I think that might have been McLaughlin.
Yeah, well, Harden is on the bottom. He's going to have a good run entering turn 1. He tries to get close, but he's not that close to make a move.
Still a long race, and you know what, folks? Just bring her home. Keep a good safety rating, and you're looking at a top 10. Everyone's going out for steak afterwards. It's a top 10, folks.
Yeah, we're all winners here.
We got Mark Murphy in the chat saying he should have joined this one. Yeah, he probably should have, but he is practicing for which will be part of I got a triple header today, folks. We got the Indy Open, and then after that, I'm going to run over to the virtual jet and fly very quickly virtually over to the improper virtual Phoenix Raceway and join the guys at FTN to call the Vor race, which is a double header at Phoenix. Now immediately following this, so gotta catch the virtual Concord here soon.
I love that you call it the improper version. That's just so funny to me because it is. I'm also looking right now. Afonso Soto, the number 3 car, he's right now 10th, but he actually started from the pits. He must have had some kind of issue when rigging up, and now he's all over the back of Harden and Ferraro. He's actually a second and a half faster every single lap, so he's catching really quickly.
Yeah, we'll watch this. Actually, let's pop in. Oh, he's going to spin it. And he was having issues like that in practice, and I think that's just a little happy on the accelerator coming on corner exit there. So he does a pretty good imitation of Danny Sullivan, gets it pointed in the right direction, and is now back underway. But those red tires are a little less effective now after doing a 360 like that.
I mean, that was really good car control. I thought for sure he was going to go to the Armco barrier there, but he kept it under wraps, just like a 360 no scope there. And he's back underway. But yeah, like you said, the alternate tires, they don't really like when that happens. They're going to be a little bit weird for a lap and probably a little bit more than a lap. Because they have so much heat due to the spinning out. So Afonso here needs to be a little bit careful when closing in again.
Ferraro and Harden still are in close proximity there.
Yeah, I feel that Harden is quite a bit faster than Ferraro, but that comes to show that, hey, passing here is no easy feat. You really need to time it right and make sure that if you're going to be using the push to pass button, that you use it in a place that it makes sense.
Yeah, there really isn't a traditional, what I would call a traditional corner to pass here. Everything is no really high braking zones, although there are braking zones, but there's nothing like a super high that takes you on to a 90-degree turn or something like that. That the hairpin is banked, so you're not really as slow through the hairpin. It's a signature corner here, so it is a tough place to pass. You're going to have to make your own opportunities. This is one of the few places right here as they're going through 11, 12.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, turn 13 and 14, where they're going by right now, that's not really a place where you can do anything. Perhaps turn one is one of the better opportunities, but like you said, it's also banned, so it's not like you're going there and really doing a super heavy braking. But if you get a good run and if you're on the push pass button, you might have a good opportunity there. Turn three here is also a possibility, a little bit more, you know, difficult to pull it up, but it's something that you can do. I think one of the best ones really is coming up here at the end of this complex, which is turn 7 right here. This is probably one of the best passing locations as well.
Let's move on up through the field a little bit further up. James Shaw, who is now kind of sinking back into the picture where Ferraro and Harden are kind of racing, I think, to make some time up here. But Shaw is starting to appear in the picture. Right in front of Shaw is Whalen. And
that's a cool car, the Army car.
Yeah, there's some good colors there. Nice sparkle to it as well. We got Olivia Haywood up to 5th here. And they are got themselves about a 4-second lead over Whalen and are all by themselves.
Yeah, they're turning good lap time. They're around the 119, 120 for most of the lap that they're doing, and that's really good. But it's a little bit off pace from what Kevin Burrell, Will Weiser, Brian Perry, and Charlie Sears are doing. So it kind of makes sense that or they are kind of in an island right now.
Yep.
But that could also be due to the tire, the tire strategy. What we should see here is one stop, only one stop. It's a very fast track, and it's going to be a very fast race. And what you want to do is use the alternate as little as possible, because they're really good for maybe like 4 or 5 laps. Then they're decent for around another 5 laps. And as Olivia blocks up a little bit and goes,
good recovery for Olivia there. Could have quickly ended the day if that car decided to scoot off through the kitty litter and onto the impact barriers there, but she is back underway. All of his hearts skipped a beat. But you were talking about tires, so it doesn't do you really any good here to cut this strategy in half and go exactly to the halfway point, throw on a new set, which would be your reds in the case of Olivia here, because they're going to pretty much be spent in about 5 laps after she's done pitting, correct?
Yeah. I mean, you can do it, and if you're not pushing like super hard, you can get away with it. But for the most part, I think we're going to see Kevin Burrell pitting earlier, like around lap 15-ish, because he's on the alternate. And Will Weiss and Brian Perry, they probably want to go all the way to lap 20 because they're on the alternates and just have the small stint on the alternate tires.
So those on the red tires, just in case you're curious, is Burrell, Sears, Whalen, Shaw.
Keyboard goes off again. She pulls it back on, but she's having a tough time right now.
Now remember, she survived 9 laps at Nürburgring last week. So that in itself is a major victory. So we know she has the car control to make it and survive 2 wrecks. That's okay. Might be looking at an early pit stop here just to get on a new set of tires. But still hanging on there in 5th. Continuing my thought there, Whalen, Shaw, Harden, and Soto all have the alternate tires. Everybody else are on primes, with your leader of that category, Will Weiser, on the prime right there.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned Shaw, Ferraro, and Soto, they're all really, really close to each other. And they actually went, Alfonso Soto went by Harden.
Soto again doing his best in imitation of Tokyo Drift.
He's really overdriving the car, trying to make up for, the spots that he probably lost while having to start from the pits. But I feel that he's going to be sending it here at the end of the straight. He tries, but not close enough.
All right, got a fan of Kevin Burrell in here from Apex Chris.
There goes Soto over
Sad he
for
missed it. We'll get you next time. We're watching this battle for, this is 7th, 8th, and 9th right now. James Shaw, Alfonso Soto, Noel, and Ferraro, who is blinking uncontrollably right now, is back in 9th. And that's a car you don't see in between of, and now Harden has passed. So I think Ferraro just faded into the ether.
Yeah, I think that was one blink too many. Shaw is slowly but surely catching up there with Kevin Whalen there for P6.
Yep. Let's take a look at Whalen here. Oh, Whalen flashing.
Last time by, Shaw was 7/10 of a second quicker than Whalen there, but yep, blinking quite a bit.
So, how much, and I know as a driver because I've driven these cars as well, how distracting are the blinking cars when you're trying to race with them?
Oh man, it really depends on the circuit, but I gotta say it's really distracting, and it makes you, it gets you in a really defensive mode. So, what a lock up there by Alfonso Soto, who's really trying to make those places back. If I was James Shaw, I would probably let everyone by. Like right now, in front of me, I have somebody that's blinking. I don't know where they're gonna go, and that is really scary. And behind me, I see that somebody that is really pushing and being really aggressive. Alfonso Soto is a good driver. He is a 4,300 iRating driver, but he seems to be quite aggressive from what we've seen right now in this race. So again, my strategy would be like, hey, you know what? Go ahead, whale up a little bit.
Help yourself, yeah. Well, we're a third of the way through this race now, lap 11 of 31. Thanks for joining us. This is race first coverage of the IndyCar Open Series, coming to you from Zandvoort. You managed to be watching today and joining us. We appreciate it. Make sure to smash the like button. Click the bell for weekly reminders. Click subscribe while you're at it. Or actually click subscribe and then click the bell. Either way, we would appreciate it. But we are a third of the way through this, coming up on pit stops probably here soon. Only the next 10 or so for a lot of these guys.
Oh man, Soto there is sideways.
Oh, there we go. Shaw got a little hot coming into, that was 10. And Soto gets underneath him and moves on.
Yeah, if I'm James Shaw, again, maybe I was a little bit too hot entering the corner, but I'm happy right now. I'm like, okay, you know what, that works out. Let's let those two guys fight it out.
Yeah, blinking cars, and I've been in battles with blinking cars. It's almost, and there comes Shaw to pit road. So he is going to go ahead and we'll watch his car come by here in just a second. It's almost an unfair advantage to have a lead over someone and be blinking, because really you don't know where that car is going to, I don't know, I guess the right word is reform.
Yeah, materialize in front.
It could, you know, just like Star Trek, you know, through the transporter, you know, reform, rematerialize right in front of you. And Shaw, I think, has called it quits for whatever reason. So we might be down to 8 cars. There you saw Kevin Burrell coming by. There is Will Weiser. We're looking at some of the final turns here.
Oh man, Soto is really on the back of Kevin Whalen there. They're so close together. I'm scared. Yeah, and for James Shaw, I was wondering why he went to the pits. I was like, that's a little too early. You cannot make it from there. So I guess he must have had some sort of issue, real life peripherals or something.
Yep.
And yeah,
one of those gets on the radio and in the virtual world. Retire the car. And Whalen going in the pit road. Now, is this too early for him? I think it is.
Charlie Sears is in as well.
He's coming out, though.
Yeah.
And he has gone to the prime tire. And he's going to come out in front of Carl Harden.
Well, I mean, I guess if you save enough, you should be able to make it. And that way, for CRs, you're off of that alternate tire. If it was coming apart, then you're good. And yeah, I guess you can make it. Yeah.
Well, let's ride along with our leader, Kevin Burrell. Coming through the final banked corner there.
Yeah, the satellite racing team entry. He is, he has been so fast these days. Saw him a little bit on the Monday as from the field race. He was really fast there, along with his teammate. And today he's putting on a clinic. Apologies to his fans that we haven't really talked a lot about him, but he once he took the first corner, he was gone.
Yeah, the General, the longtime Twitch streamer, did a lot of his online racing prior to coming to here and kind of making a home and on the iRacing IndyCar tour, so to speak. Not the new tour that's coming up in the series, but just kind of in the community, whatever. He was kind of a racer on Gran Turismo back in the PlayStation area, and decided to come over here on the PC side and put his skills to use. Made a home here in the IndyCar Series, and great guy, great personality. All goes well. Hopefully, we'll get a good interview with him. He's an American, but it's. I believe he's an American, but he has made his way over to Japan. So he is racing with us from Japan, where he has a business over there. So hopefully the internet gods are good to him and don't give him any of the flashing that we've seen a couple of other drivers with today. But a great guy, great racer with a great team, great pedigree. I can't say enough good things about Kevin. He's a really good dude. Back at P2 is Will Weiser hanging on there. Will normally races, I believe, with his brother, but just Will showing up today, and that we're not going to give him too much grief for using a Formula One livery on an IndyCar, but I guess we're at a Formula One track, so we'll somewhat allow it. But he's in that AlphaTauri livery.
Yeah, we can give him a pass because we're on, the Dutch GP layout, so it's fine. It's fine, Will. You get it this time. We haven't talked a lot about Brian Carey there, P3 from Powerslide Motorsports. He's doing a really good job there, staying close to Will Weiser and Kevin Burrell. Just a tiny bit of difference that is, adding up after every single lap. So it's gonna be tough to make that round up. But I've seen weirder things happen. A race is never over until it's over, right?
Yep, that is right. It's not over till it's over. Just ask Hildebrandt in the 2011 Indy 500. So.
Oh man, that is heartbreak. Whenever I rewatch that, it's like, how come you did that?
Yeah, I remember I was there for that race. That was the last of my consecutive Indy 500s. We didn't go the next year, but that was an extremely hot day, if I remember. Even hotter than the 2006 race. And I remember just on that last lap, he just had to keep it between the lines. He didn't need to pass Charlie Kimball, and he decides he wants to pass Charlie Kimball there on the corner 4, and then smacks the wall. And then your expression, I'm sure, at home and yours, Antonio, was exactly mine and everyone else around me. And then it was interesting how the same type of bad luck impacted the National Guard car in the NASCAR race later that night. So
weird. Yeah. I mean, at least for Junior, it was like, okay, he ran out of fuel, which sucks. As Kevin Burrell is now pitting right now, which makes sense with what we were thinking would happen.
Yep. Coming to lap 17, so he's gonna get rid of these well-worn alternate tires. You see the red sidewalls as we're riding on the roll cage with them. Up on the pneumatic jacks, crew's going to put 4 freshies on there. Single impact lug in the middle there. That's why it's so quick. full tank of fuel, and down and away. Actually, you don't need a full tank of fuel. You just need just enough fuel to get you to the end, and I'm sure that's what he put in that car as he's leaving pit road. Got to bring these tires up the temperature. Can't go at it as hard as he was, possibly even with those well-worn reds. But he's going to bring those tires up the temperature, and then he will set sail for the remainder of this race. Now that turns the lead over to Will Weiser.
Yeah, I would say that this lap is key for Kevin Burrell. If everything goes according to plan without a hitch, he's going to be able to get those tires up to temperature, and from there he should be able to sail away easily. Right now he came out third, just in front of Olivia Hayward there, and Will Weiser and Brian Carey, they both need to beat. Although they're both on the primary tires, so they're going to be able to go a little bit further, and then, again, the strategy comes into play a little bit. Both Will Weiser and Brian Carey are going to be a little faster for the first couple of laps, and that's where Kevin Burrell is going to be able, or going to need to hold them off. That's going to be the key part to winning this race. Harden is in the pits and coming up right now.
Done and away there. Yeah, Burrell finished second to his teammate, Christian Hildegard, on the Monday race. So he's looking at, hopefully if all goes well, a double podium to book in his week on the Indy Open Series, or the IndyCar Open Series. Looks like Marcelo Ferraro is back with us. He is rejoined. He's about 4 laps down, but he's made up 1 spot over Shaw. Might make up some more with some attrition. So not giving up, going from as maximum points as possible.
Socho in the pits.
And he's down and away. Looks like he might have had a little right front, would be on the left side of your screen, but right front wing element damage that got addressed there on pit road.
I mean, we saw him lock up quite a bit, quite a few times, and we saw him do that 360 spin there. So I'm sure that he probably damaged it a little bit. Again, there's a lot of banking, so if you take a corner a little bit wrong, you can certainly damage that front wing. Only 3 cars left that have not pitted: Weiser, Perry, and Hayward. And again, they're going to be faster for a little bit, and they're going to also have a lighter car. So the fuel that they are going to need to put in, the fuel load is going to be less than what Kevin Burrell had to do there. So and they're going to be a little faster.
It might be they might have a slightly shorter stop by a second or so, just so they have to put in less fuel than what they did on Burrell's car. Tire changes are pretty quick here in IndyCar racing, just because of the pneumatic jacks and the single impact lug. You normally change a set of tires on these cars within 5 seconds. So if you're going to hit pit road for more than 5 seconds, you might as well put on the change of rubber. Of course, this is the Open Series, and you're going to have to change that compound, and he will have to go to the Reds. We're talking Will Weiser here as we're watching him to finish this race.
Soda back in the pits, and I know exactly why. When we saw him go out of the pits, he didn't stay to the right of the track. He crossed the line. So I wasn't sure if that was going to be a penalty, but I was very close to being sure. And as we see him back in the pits, that's certainly what happened. You cannot cross that line when you're merging back into the truck.
That is a drive-through penalty, which he just addressed, brings him out right in front of Brian Carey. So Soto is a lap down. Carey with lap traffic in front of him. Now might be a good time for Carey to say, you know what, I'm going to hit pit road. He has not pitted yet. He's 19 laps on this current set of tires.
Yeah, I would pit as well right now, because otherwise you're just going to be in, a little bit of dirtier as there we see Soto locking up the tires, and making a move here is going to be tough. So just get out of the way.
So the intelligence that we have in our chat room there, Apex Chris has let us know some intel. He said Reds could go all the way. They ran them 16 on a 16-lap stint. So his team.
There we go.
So he has faith in the Reds to get to the finish now, as we are now 11 laps from the finish.
There goes Will Weiser and Brian Curry as well.
So we'll look at Will as he comes in. There he goes. And then we'll look at Brian Carey. Flying the solo flag for Power Slide Racing now, today, for this race. And Burrell will get by these guys on pit road. He will pick back up the lead. The question is, how big of a lead will it be? Looking at 5 seconds on the ticker already.
Hayward in as well.
Hayward in pit road there. Hayward worked her way up to 4th. And she'll give that position back to Charlie Sears right there.
All right, so yeah, right now this is when Weiser needs to really push. Let's see if he can get closer to Kevin Burrell. Their tires are up to speed, or up to temp actually, on Kevin Burrell's side. Will Weiser needs to wait a little bit there, and perhaps we'll see what happens in the next couple of laps.
Weiser on the alternate tires has himself a 6-second lead over Carey. You might also be thinking just bringing it home and for a solid second place finish, maybe get some good iRating out of this.
I mean, Carey has not used any of his push-to-pass fires, and Will Weiser is down to 3. So that is potentially a disadvantage to Weiser. If Brian Curry wants to get close, I think he should be able to, as he's using the first one of his.
Well, we just watched, rode along with Kevin Burrell right above his helmet there, as he used his push to pass, or at least one of his pushes, down the main straight there, through the amusement park looking roller coaster like banking of corner number 3. So the push to pass situation for the field, Burrell has 8 pushes left, Weiser 3, Carey 9, 7 for Sears. Hayward right now is is on it at the moment. Was 10, now 9. Whalen 6, Soto 7, Harden 7, and Ferrara 9. Remember, push to pass gives you you got 10 pushes of the button for 20 seconds of a momentary horsepower boost. It will impact your fuel, so if you're close, you don't want to spam that button too much. Looking up in front of Kevin here, we do have some lap traffic. That is Soto. There's another one of the lap corners. This is 14 going on to the main straight. The Ari Line Dyke corner. 2-time Indianapolis 500 winner. Currently still holds all the speed records at Indianapolis, with the exception of the race record, which he did hold at one time.
Wow, and I just wanted to mention that there's a purple lap. Will Weiser 1:17.2, much quicker than Kevin Burrell there. So it was 5.8 seconds last time I checked. It's down to 3.5.
That is. That is. So we'll get back on to Will here. He has 2 presses of the button left, 9 laps to go. Again, thank everyone for joining. Make sure to smash like, click subscribe, ring the bell. And if you would so like to, and like to throw some donations our way to your broadcasters, there's a GoFundMe link for our 2024 broadcast fund. Link is in the description, and please associate. God, you know what? I cannot talk right now. We appreciate anything that you can give us. We do realize that times are tough. Believe me, I know. I'm putting the kiddo through college, but anything that you can send our way, would appreciate that. As kind of do these things for free out of the kindness of our heart. But man, we love doing it.
We certainly do, and now we're down to 2.5 seconds. Another second cut off there, and I'm sure that Kevin Burrell is not super happy. He has a lap car in front of him, and right now Will Weiser is really pushing, trying to get close there. They're bringing it on that there's a race there.
Yeah, we're watching right now a battle for second starting to form. Burrell just pitted. There's only 7 laps on his current set of tires. Will is 3 laps into his current set of tires, which are the alternates, the faster, stickier alternates. But the sweet zone of those are going to wear off here soon. But, man, he's got it right at 2 seconds now.
He sure is, and it's getting closer and closer. And the last time by in particular was not a good lap for Burrell, 119.2, when he was doing 118 and a half or something like that. So around 7/10 slower. Maybe he had a little bit of a mistake here or there. And Will Weiser has been on it. And Kevin Burrell is now fighting back with a push of the bottom. So he's going to get additional horsepower and going to bolt out of our line dice corner and onto the front stretch. Still down to 1.8 seconds now.
Yeah, only 9 drivers on the track. 10 started. Yep, kind of a sparse collection today. But, hey, you know, everyone wants to watch the start of the everyone's excited for anything with the 2024 racing season. Whatever series you watch, everyone is excited. And the Daytona 24 green flag I think has already happened or is close to happening right now. So in the real world, I think a lot of these virtual drivers will be wanting to watch that since there was that strength of field race on Monday. But for those that want a little extra cushion, add to possibly their safety and I rating here, they decided to pop in the Saturday strength of field race. And right now watching this battle, Kevin Burrell's car does not look happy right now.
Yeah, not super happy, but it's also evening out a little bit. Right now, this time by Will Weiser was unable to, get that much time off of the lead that Kevin Burrell has. And I think it's that what we were talking about a little bit as he goes really wide. That's not going to help him at all. He's going to lose a lot of momentum by touching the gravel there. He was at 1.7 seconds. It's up to 2.3 right now. So, yeah, that didn't help matters at all. And as you mentioned, I think we're getting to that point where the alternate car, it's going to last. It's going to work fine, but it's going to lose that edge that it has for a couple of laps.
6 laps to go. And a bit of a battle in front of...
Right in front of Burrell.
So we're watching. This is not a battle for position, I don't think.
It is. Soto trying to go by Whalen there. He does.
Okay, this is a battle for position. So, again, getting the little Tokyo drift. Now we got a flashing car in front of our.
I'm sure Ellie's so happy here. The distance to Weiser is down to 1.7, and that's not because of something that Will Weiser did in this particular lap. It's more about the traffic in front of Kevin Burrell. Again, I'm sure that Kevin right now is very happy that these guys were fighting in front of him, and right now he.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't think he's happy that they were fighting in front of him. I think he's happy to be by him and to have them behind him as a bit of a buffer back to Will Weiser.
I know. I was being super sarcastic there. I don't think he's happy at all because you are the leader. There is absolutely nothing that they're going to be gaining.
You're right, and these guys are on the lead lap, so they don't have to. They don't have to move over. They're going to get a flag. They're going to get warned, but they're going to definitely want to race to stay on the lead lap. Will Weiser now behind Whalen. Whalen lets him on by. That was very, very nice of him. And that allows Will Weiser to try to set sail and wheel in Burrell with 5 to go with a margin of 2.6 seconds to the lead.
That's also a thing. I mean, and Will Weiser was just on the communications. He was really upset with Kevin Whalen there, and that's because there are not very many opportunities to pass, like we said. And he lost around a second there just by being behind him on that complex of turns after turn 3. But that's just how it goes with when you catch that traffic.
Well, with 5 laps to go, let's just go through the field real quick. Your leader is Kevin Burrell, the Satellite Racing Team. Will Weiser right there in the AlphaTauri livery, P2. These guys have been up in the top 3 all day long. Brian Carey with the power slide entry all by himself on push to pass down the main straight there. Currently looking at a pretty solid podium finish if all goes well. Charlie Sears, great run for him in a P4. Kind of by himself as well. Olivia Hayward, really all alone, all by herself She is entering 13. The next nearest car is exiting 14 in front of her, and the next nearest car behind her just exited turn 10. So I suspect with just all you have to do in the next 4 laps is to hit your marks. This might be a good spot for her just to focus in on and maximize not making mistakes. Soto, we've seen Soto all race long. Kind of the Mr. Excitement driver of today's race a little bit. But he's got the leader right behind him. And this is not a battle for position, but this is a battle to stay on the lead lap. And he's going to desperately try to do that, but he is currently P6. Kevin Whalen, P7. Carl Harden is back in P8. And Ferraro, who looks like he got blipped out, lost connection, came back in, rejoined. He's 4 laps down, but he is still turning laps, not giving up, and we appreciate that effort. He is back in 9th. James Shaw, only car retired, back in 10th.
Yeah, and you know, thanks to Mr. Excitement there, Alfonso Soto, we still have a race because at this point, Kevin Burrell should be gone. We've reached that point where the tires, the primaries and the alternates are pretty much equal or a little bit better on the primary side. And it's not really coming into fruition. Will Weiser is closing in, but that's because there are not very many places to pass. And Soto is just not moving anywhere. And he's not going to move anywhere. Like you said, you don't really have to. There are no rules for that in place. It's like, hey, if you're faster, go by me. And Soto has good pace, not the best.
2.1.
Yeah, he's able to sit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Will Weiser is super, you know, like going super hard right now, down to 1.9 again. And also the push-to-pass situation. Okay, Kevin Burrell is trying to make a move here on Soto, going on the bottom. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it. He's not that close.
He's on the push-to-pass button. He's got 2 matches left. And Soto just kind of moved up on the high line, let him on by.
That was actually really good. And also very clean racing from Soto. I know that we've kind of been throwing him under the bus a little bit, but that was really heads-up driving. Now Burrell only has 2 processes of the bottom left. And Will Weiser has been saving his last one for a while now. Probably going to try and use it on the last lap, but I think it's a little bit too late now. Coming out of 12th.
2 laps to go. Oh, Will locks it up going into the chicane. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. There he goes. Kept it under him. Could have lost that. He does have a little bit of a gap back to carry.
And he's at the bottom right now, trying to make up as much time as he can. That's the last press of Weiser. Carry on the bottom as well. But I think it's going to be smooth sailing there for Kevin Burrell.
White flag in the air. Again, thanks for everyone for joining us. I know it was a bit of a paltry field, but we saw some kind of excitement here in the last quarter of the race as Weiser ran down Burrell, but all goes well for Burrell. Keeps it between the lines. He should be able to get this win and bookend his Indy Open week with a second and a win.
Yeah, pretty good. Not too shabby.
Looking at about a half lap to go for the General. Going through 9 into 10.
Yeah, just about smooth inputs right now. There is no way that you can lose 3 seconds to second place right now. So, and the experience that Kevin Burrell has, you know, this is going to be a no-brainer for him. Out of the chicane, entering turn 13 right now. Mashing the throttle into turn 14, airline the corner, and it's going to be a winner.
Yeah, the General, looking at the checkered flag, has stormed the beach at the Netherlands and has won here at Zandvoort for the 1 p.m. IndyCar Open Series strength of field race here on Saturday. So now everyone can get a chance to go watch the start of the 24, but you do not, trust me, you do not want to miss the interview with Kevin Burrell. Trust me, you don't. Stick around as he is finishing his lap. Will Weiser finishes second, Brian Carey third, Charlie Sears fourth, Olivia Hayward fifth. Kind of what we were talking about coming into the race, that we identified those five as kind of the ones to watch. And again, the cream rises to the top. Makes us look good. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate that. But some good efforts by Soto, Whalen, Harden, Ferrara. Well, definitely Ferrara for not quitting as he's turning his final lap there. He finishes ninth, and James Shaw 10th. We'll get the final standings up here momentarily. But here we go. Will Weiser is your winner, or excuse me, Will Weiser wishes he was the winner. It's Kevin Burrell is the winner. Will Weiser finishes second. Brian Carey third. Charlie Sears fourth. Olivia Hayward fifth. Kevin Whalen sixth. Carl Harden seventh. And he is probably going to be the biggest gainer of the day, up 3 spots. I think he pretty much started shotgun on the field. So good on him, really. Ferraro gets the Don't Quit award as he finishes 8th. And James Shaw 7th. And Soto, I have Soto back in 10th, 9th for some reason. I'm not sure why. I don't know if we hit a penalty at the end or something.
That just showed up. Race control just made that change. Wow, I think he was disqualified. He's showing up as 1 lap down. I saw him going to the pits at the end of the last lap. So maybe he was trying to clear up a black flag and was just, he didn't have enough time. But that's a bummer for him. At least he made it interesting for us. That's one of the new features from iRacing, that you can now get disqualified for a post race, which is pretty cool. And then you can also get protested, and if it's a successful protest, you can also get disqualified after the race happened. So some of the new things that happened during our off time last year. So.
Yeah, there used to be, because a lot of shenanigans would happen after the race. People would then, the checkered flag's fallen now. I'm going to just, wreck the guy that has been, racing me hard or whatever, and it's not going to be affect. Yeah, I agree with that, and I also like how a lot of leagues, especially with broadcast, kind of discourage that because it looks kind of unprofessional. So. But again, not sure what happened, but we hope we see him back, because he was certainly entertaining to watch. So we do have Brian Carey here in the interview room, so we'll bring him up first. Hey, Brian, I know it's a small field, but thanks for joining us. Thanks for being part of the 1 p.m. split. Only 10 cars, but you bring her home third. Hopefully it's a good iRating and points day for you. Tell us about your race.
Oh, thanks, Gary. First of all, glad to be back. Glad to see you guys back. Everyone back on the broadcast. This is awesome. I was there on the Monday Nürburgring. I missed your race last week, or last broadcast there. But so my race was I did some practice on reds, just trying to get a good setup here. About 12:30, realized the race was going. I'm like, I could pull this off, but didn't do any black runs, didn't do any Q runs. So there's a little bit of discovery there that first stint. But the second stint went pretty well, and I'm feeling pretty good about the weeks ahead.
Now we know that a lot of people are kind of watching the start of the 24, so we're assuming that's where you'll probably be headed here next. So I imagine that you probably want to get going here rather quickly, so you can go catch the TV, or maybe you're skilled enough where you're actually watching TV and racing at the same time. I could not do that. But any shout outs? Anybody you want to say hi to before we let you go?
Oh, no, just my partner, Karina, who is watching there. Good job. Good job. Jeez.
Karina, we want to tell you good job and thumbs up, Karina.
For letting me do my practicing and in the bedroom and stuff like that. But just the Power Slide team. Most of them are sitting up in the grandstands there in Daytona right now, along with a bunch of our other IndyCar colleagues too. So I know a lot of them are there. So shout out to those guys. And yeah, no, just to you guys, Gary, the Race First guys, for coming back. We're good to go, and it's good to see you guys.
It's good to be back, and I think we know who the team boss is in the Carey household now. So thanks for allowing thanks for allowing Brian to play with us. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Greta.
Yeah, go ahead and go catch the 24, and hopefully we'll see you next week moving to Texas.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Thanks, Gary.
Yeah. And let's bring up Kevin Burrell. Hey, Kevin, get you off mute there. Yeah. Hey, a little bit of a different story than Monday night. A, not racing a teammate, and B, you got to win. So hopefully it's rewarding for you in terms of when it comes to the iRating reward there. But hopefully hopefully it got you some points here in the championship as well. I think you were probably pretty excited to see Carey and Weiser battling it right within the first couple corners. And you kind of set sail. I think that was kind of what you wanted to see there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I saw that happen, and I mentally I was like, all right, cool. I'll take a few free seconds from them at the start. But then when I came out, after the pit cycle, and I was like only 5 ahead, I realized that actually that was what we noticed on Monday, was that the alts were lasting quite a bit longer. They fall off really badly, but they just start out so much faster that in the end, you still want to run them for a really long time, And sure enough, when I came out onto the primes, it felt like the first couple laps, they just weren't on pace. And when I saw how much Will was gaining, I was like, oh my God, I think we're done. When he got to 1.6 back, I was like, those tires need to fall off right now, And they did. And, it all worked out. But that was, it made me realize that, those alts are, maybe I kind of sort of hope that the race set was targeted at the primaries just because we're going to run them longer. But in the end, I think really optimizing the pace on that alt stint was pretty key. So it's good. I mean, it's fun. It's a great track to drive. I really like it in this car. I mean, the car just feels gripped up everywhere, and both in low and high speed. And it's just fun. It's a good little track.
It certainly is. Kevin, congratulations on the win and the domination, really. I'm wondering, besides when Will was closing there because of the tire and whatnot, you also had a couple of cars that were, a lap down or, close to being a lap down, fighting there for position. What was going through your mind when that was happening?
There was definitely a lot of fear with 2 cars almost a lap down right in front of me. I mean, I knew that they were not going to do anything stupid, but it's just 2 people, no matter how fast or slow they are, right in front of you, going through low speed corners, with the person in front locking up and stuff. You're terrified that it's like you get tunnel vision on somehow imagining the insane wreck that's going to take you out of the race. And that's what happened to me. And I see Will just about into my slip at that point. I mean, I knew I had the tire and P2P advantage at that point, but it was please let this somehow resolve itself in a safe way. And I don't know if you saw, I sent it very hard on someone into T1. Just I'm I've waited long enough. We're coming through. So.
Yeah, I was actually telling Gary, I was I don't think Kevin is close enough to send it, quote unquote properly, but you actually went ahead and be like, you know what, I'm not playing anymore. I'm not wasting any more time here.
And I think possibly there might have been some give and take because that driver did take a little bit of a higher line to that corner and to kind of let you on through.
He did.
Yeah.
It's tough, I mean, it's something that I've noticed in IMSA too, when you're trying to pass GT3s in a GTP. You can dive sometimes from further back than you expect, but you need to have that initial roll in to convince them that you're going to be side by side, so that they don't, only realize that you're going to try and make the move too late. And I think there's a little bit of that in this car too, especially because the brakes are so good. You can kind of roll in faster than you would desire if you're on your own, and then really get on it, But yeah, I mean, I love the track. I felt like we were on rails with the setup this week and everything. I mean, Chris and I were both, when we were testing last week, we felt it's real good, and it's unfortunate he couldn't make it today. He just missed it by a few minutes getting back home, but he's planning on running this regularly in the future. So hopefully we can I don't know, get some good results, have some good times, and hopefully people show up for what I think is the best series in iRacing. So should be good. I'm looking forward to IAT as well.
Let's talk about the car real quick, because since you mentioned the car, we know how the car is going to be next week at Texas. That's going to be a fun race.
Yes.
And we kind of saw you a little bit on the Tuesday night broadcast. Might have maybe some white knuckling going on at Atlanta in this car. But how is this car with this track combination? Do you like it? Should they schedule it again more often? Because there doesn't look like there's very many places to pass. And when there are places to pass, it's kind of an untraditional corner, if you know what I mean. So, I mean,
Yes.
does it make it just that more of a challenge, or you would like a track where there's more opportunities, more traditional passing zones?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. Like, something like Mid-Ohio, I mean, that's part of why I always liked IIS in the past, just with the longer multi-stop races. Like, even a track like Mid-Ohio, I mean, I guess Mid-Ohio has a passing place, but like, anything really small like that's kind of rough to pass at. Once you have like a 2 or 3 stop even, if you can switch around the order of your stints to kind of like reposition yourself if you're stuck in traffic or something, I think a track like this can work like very well. In the one stop format of Indy Open, maybe, or mostly one stop anyway, maybe not so great, but I still liked it. And I think the difference when you come out of the pits between the two tire compounds is enough that you can kind of force that type of move. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I doubt we'll see it anytime soon, but it's definitely something I'd consider voting for.
Well,
in the
you
future.
mentioned the IIT as well.
Yeah.
We're going to 100% length races with the exception of Indianapolis, which will be a 500K. What is your experience with 100% length races in this car?
I've run some, I think some elite races. Indy, the Chad Elite Series. I don't know what it's called now. Not
Elite.
Indy Elite Series. we seriously, we call it Chad Elite. Like I call it Chad Elite and Elite,
Shout out to Chad, by the way. How you doing, Chad?
Yeah. That I've run some long road races and long ovals in that series, and it's fun. You can get into a groove. I mean, definitely it's going to be a bit of a challenge for me with the races starting at 3 a.m. I mean, this is fine. 4, that's kind of my that's my limit. So
Yeah, it's
I
going to
just need to
be
move it back
5
another.
a.m. or so by the time you're done.
We're looking at 5.
Yeah.
And some of those ovals might be legitimately painful. So, I'm up to the challenge, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's just, there's something about this is one of the few cars in iRacing that really has like super meaningful tire deg, other than like the F1 car, right? I mean, it's got multiple compounds, you really have to think about, you've got in-car adjustments to make things last through the stint. I think it's like the perfect car for a series like that, and I'm really happy that it's coming back. I just think, especially also with the like 4 slots a week type deal, I think, it gives people something to kind of target as opposed to like just like sort of pickup races here and there. So I think it'll be really good.
Well,
A lot of people, I mean, I've heard from some former IIS drivers too that they're definitely planning on coming back for IIT when it starts.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Well, and then fingers crossed. So you're talking about all the what we can use in the car, what we might be able to possibly use in the car. The development can continue on this car. Hybrids in the future, probably some. Hopefully, they'll change the weight physics of the car because, of course, they're putting the lighter weight parts in now, and they're also got the lighter weight aero screen coming up. So that might change up some of your setups there that you got in the library at Satellite. But you're looking at some changes in the car that might make things more interesting. So before we let you go, you always make things very interesting on the post race show. Go ahead and give your shout outs because we know you have many, and then we'll let you get off to bed because we know it's late.
I gotta.
Yeah.
It's I mean, look, my work schedule and everything makes it okay, but it's late. Obviously shout outs to Satellite, to Crane, and to Christian Hildgaard this week, who did a lot of work with me on testing the set and everything. A shout outs obviously to anyone who's shows up for this. It's a great car, great combo. You guys do a great job. And also to to the IAR guys too for we may no longer be teammates, but we're still friends, and we like chatting. It's kind of fun, right? It's like now it's like, okay, let's see what you guys got. It's a good rivalry. It's always good to have more teams in the mix, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone strengthen. I mean, I think what you said, with the changes coming to the car, also with the new aero stuff on road, it's going to be really interesting, and I think we're going to see a big development rush. And it's going to get people excited. We haven't had a big physics change in like over a year now, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be cool.
It
Well,
has
catch
been
you
a
around. Have a
while,
good one,
but,
guys.
yeah, it's been a while. It's been we were all patient, so we're all owed one. So I know what you mean. But hey, good to see you in victory lane. Good to have you up here in the booth. Good to see you part of the series. Good to see you going forward as part of the series we're going to cover. So we're all excited. So go ahead and get some sleep, and we will talk to you surely again in the future.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one. See you at Texas.
All right, Antonio. Your thoughts of today's race, and what are your thoughts about next week as we head back stateside? Actually, I think it might be closer to you than it is for me. I have to actually draw the line and find out, but
it probably is.
Moving to Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, man. So first of all, I just did a little digging. Soto was disqualified because he didn't change tire compound.
No tire compound.
Yeah, which is a shame, but you do need to change the tire compound at least once. With that out of the way, honestly, when we were starting the broadcast, I was like, oh man, it's gonna be tough. It's only 10 cars, but these guys put on a show. It's a really good track for racing. It lends itself really well for that, and I think like Kevin was mentioning, this is one of the best cars in the service period. And it really shows through these races. You can there are comers and goers, things happen, there is tire degradation, and the car just races really well. So I was psyched to see it racing so well, and again, happy to be back, and this is our second race back, and looking forward to what's next.
Yeah, we're in for a long season when we start covering those IIT races. 100% length.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be long, but that's gonna be fine. And for Texas, that's one of the first tracks that we kind of get back, and that's because it's not gonna be present for this year's IndyCar Series. So we were able to get it on a technicality, but it's traditionally a really a traditional IndyCar track. So that's it has raced really well lately, and I'm sure that we're gonna be seeing great racing all over. Texas is really interesting because turns 1 and 2 are very different from 3 and 4, so the setups are gonna have to be mindful of that. We're also gonna probably see a little bit of loose cars towards the end of a run. So the drivers are gonna have to be handling them and working to make sure that they get to the end. But excited about that.
All right. Well, that's going to do it. We appreciate everyone for joining. Even if you clicked on, you're like, oh, it's only 10 drivers. It was a pretty exciting race. Everyone did their job and brought the excitement out along, including Mr. Excitement Soto. So hopefully we see him back. And unfortunately, didn't change those tire compounds, and that's what relegated him to a penalty there at the end. But that's it for today. Once again, your podium from Zandvoort is Kevin Burrell, general, with the winner. Will Weiser, P2, and Brian Carey there, P3, with very little practice. Just I got time. I'm going to show up and just finish on the podium. So Brian Carey, in a traditional team power slide fashion, getting up there on the third step. We'll round out our podium for today. Join Antonio and myself again next week for round 8 of the Saturday IndyCar Open Series top split of Season 1 of 2024 as the series moves to the high banks of Texas Motor Speedway. Coverage this season begins around 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. As always, you can find everything you need right here on YouTube at youtube.com/raceverse. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but they're not easy and require time and money to produce. Because of your generosity and donations, we've been able to bring you many races of the IndyCar Open Series nearly commercial-free in the past. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and enjoyed our coverage of the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday IndyCar Open Series Top Split, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2024 broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us part of your Tuesday evenings and Saturday afternoons each and every week. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of tonight's race, of today's race. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you are new, the important thing here is click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of Race First's other iRacing programming, including the IndyCar racing from Vegas, Las Vegas, for this Tuesday night of the IndyCar Oval Series. And starting February 18th, we'll be covering the Dark Horse IndyCar Series on Sundays. Don't miss it. Click the bell. Get reminders. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge in all of iRacing. Race First. We know what Indy means. Race First Saturday IndyCar Open Top Split. Naming rights are paid for by our good friends at 4D RACEWEAR. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in today's description. For business inquiries, learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Follow all of us via our Twitter handles or X handles right here at the bottom of our screen as they are right now for you. Go ahead and add us. We'll be loving to talk to you. So for Antonio Estrada, everyone of Race First, I am Gary Gotza saying all good night. Thanks for watching. Again, welcome back. We've missed you all in the meantime. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come on safe. Catch us again right here next week at Texas for the next race of the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday IndyCar Open Series Top Split. Take care.